Evening. Getting through these Dragon Age Origins parts, Dragon Age Inquisition parts, which is good. We're not halfway through the game yet, because we've still got two huge DLCs to do. Well, one huge one. Before the end of the main quest. Two of them, actually. Oh my god. I forgot about the descent. Oh my god. We got so much content to do. But that's fine. So news today is that BioWare have just let go the director of Dragon Age 4. And they're saying, yes, the game is in good hands with the people who are there, blah, 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 blah. But unfortunately, I'm telling you now, this is what they said about the last game. A few games that they've released that have been shocking in terms of quality. This is not good. This is terrible in terms of, you know, what the game's going to be like. So, you will take, obviously, Varric. Do you know what? I'm going to take Iron Ball. I'm going to take Sarah. Why not? Have you noticed a complete lack of banter? Because I have. I don't know what it is with this game. I don't know what its major fucking malfunction is. But it does not seem to want to give us any kind of banter whatsoever. And it's really starting to get on my nerves. I don't really see a reason why it has to do stuff like that. It has to, you know... in fact, let's go with Varric, Iron Ball, and Dorian. Because I want,
So, you're Ben Hazareth, huh? The spies of the Kunari.
Oh, you've heard of us?
I spent some time in Kirkwall.
That must have been fun.
You could say that.
again, more than that, please, game. You owe us tons of fucking... tons of the stuff. Can't believe we're all the way back in the hinterlands again. I think we're going behind this waterfall. If you recognise Bianca's voice, yes, it is Laura Bailey, because it's illegal to produce a AAA game without fucking Laura Bailey in it. Even though I like her.
Finally. I started to think you weren't coming.
Nobody said you had to hang out in the creepy cave while you waited.
Well, I did wait, so let's make this quick. These idiots are carrying the red lyrium out in unprotected containers. We don't want to stick around long enough for it to start talking to us.
Why would the containers need to be protected?
Lyrium is incredibly dangerous in its raw form. It can poison or kill dwarves, and we're resistant to it. Sometimes it just explodes. No warning.
Basically, only crazy people mine lyrium.
The mining cast doesn't just sling it into a bucket. It's carried in special containers that keep it under control. And that's normal lyrium. The red stuff is worse. I wouldn't be surprised if most of their miners die just digging it up.
You seem to know more about the effects of red lyrium than most.
Varric told me plenty about what it did to him. And his brother.
How did you find this operation in the first place? There must be hundreds of Deep Road's entrances.
I've used this entrance in the past. Varric's not the only surface dwarf to explore the deep roads. Oh, I've got to admit, I was pretty surprised when I came here and found it full of humans.
If you're coming with us, I hope you can handle a fight.
No, I thought I'd cower helplessly while you do all the work.
She's a decent shot.
Decent?
You want me to admit you're better than me in front of the Inquisitor?
Let's not waste any more time, shall we?
Must be an old dwarven outpost.
What was it for?
Trade, maybe? Your guess is as good as mine.
See ya. Oh, son of a bitch. No, I should have been able to do that. I'm still a Canary at the end of the day.
So this is what you do now?
Beg pardon?
Skulking around in caves, shooting guys? Is this your day-to-day?
I usually try to avoid the caves.
Okay. looks like they've been smuggling Lyrium down here. It's fair enough, but don't want to smuggling the red stuff. Don't want that. Ooh, Drakenstone.
Darkspawn. We may be too close to the surface for these to count as deep roads. But have I mentioned I hate the deep roads?
Go. Oh, full inventory, never good. Dwarven gear, good, good, good.
What did I do now?
That letter you sent me about the red Lyrium was the first I'd heard from you since the Chantry explosion.
Had it been that long?
Seriously, if you died in that mess, I'd have come back to Kirkwall and dug you up just to kick your ass.
What would you do if I'd been cremated?
Kick your ashes, of course.
Did we just come in that? We did, didn't we? Never mind. Whoops.
We need to seal that tunnel.
Whoops.
That holds the Darkspawn back.
It's not going to, is it? Because it's just a bit of wood paneling, but if the game says that's all I need to do, then that's all I need to do.
How is what's his name?
Bogdan? He's in Navarra right now, selling my machine to wealthy landowners.
I heard some of the guild were trying to get you named a paragon for that contraption.
That's not gonna happen, even if I am 10 times the Smith Bronca ever was. A surfacer paragon? Never.
Why are they all walking over there? What are they doing? Wait, they're here now. What?
I built these doors. They probably shut this one from the other side when they heard the ruckus we were making. Ta-da!
You've been here often enough to renovate the cave?
You already know I've used this entrance in the past. I don't know if Eric's told you, but the Merchants Guild is cutthroat. Literally. I built the doors to keep rivals from following me down here and arranging accidents.
We better keep moving.
After you.
hell happened there? No.
You know, this is almost fun. Kind of like old times.
I don't recall us ever shooting people together.
Remember crashing Bartram's guild dinner? We might as well have shot him.
This isn't nearly as dangerous as pissing off my brother.
Gonna be in Orlais, do you think?
As long as this weird shit is going on, at least. Maybe longer. Why?
You'll have to stop by before Bogdan gets back. You should see my new workshop.
I'll see what I can do. You know your family will kill me if I stop by, right?
They're not gonna kill you.
You always say that, and they always send assassins.
Have you... One thing about fantasy fiction that really fucking annoys me is when characters try to be interesting instead of just being interesting. Varric does that quite a lot. Like, he will try to be interesting and suave and like, ooh, that's interesting, ooh. But I always get the sense that they're talking about themselves in a way that's more interesting than what they actually are. He says, oh, the more you say that, the more they send assassins. It's like, dude, no. Even if that does actually happen, and it might do. Just why, you know? Just shut up.
There you are. You won't be able to use this entrance again.
Bianca.
You want to say something, Varric?
Andraste's ass, Bianca. You're the leak?
When I got the location, I went and had a look for myself. And I found the red lyrium, and I studied it.
You know what it does to people.
I was doing you a favor. You want to know how this stuff works just as much as I do. I just wanted to figure it out.
You could have been killed. Or worse. And for what?
Knowledge! You're not gonna beat Corypheus with ignorance. I found out that red lyrium... It has the blight, Varric. Do you know what that means?
What? The two deadly things combined to form something super awful?
Lyrium is alive, or something like it. Blight doesn't infect minerals, only animals. I couldn't get any further on my own, so I looked for a Grey Warden mage. Blight and magical expertise in one, right? And I found this guy, Larius. He seemed really interested in helping my research. So I gave him a key.
Larius? He was the Grey Warden we met in Corypheus's... Oh, shit. I knew something seemed off.
I didn't realize until you said you found red lyrium at Haven. I came here and, well, then I went to you.
That name means something to you, Varric?
He was at the Grey Warden prison where we found Corypheus. And he definitely wasn't a mage before.
You had to know we'd figure out what happened, Bianca. Why did you insist on coming with us?
Varric told me what people were doing with the red lyrium. I had to help make this right.
You'll have to answer for all the damage you've done.
I know I screwed up, but we did fix it. It's as right as I can make it.
This isn't one of your machines. You can't just replace a part and make everything right.
No, but I can try, can't I? Or am I supposed to wallow in my mistakes forever, kicking myself, telling stories of what I should have done?
Ha! As if I would tell stories about my own mistakes.
Oh, for pity's sake. Would you two just get a room?
Sorry, Inquisitor. We've done all we can here. Bianca, you'd better get home before someone misses you.
Varric.
Don't worry about it.
Get him killed, and I'll feed you your own eyeballs, Inquisitor.
God, I fucking hate her so much. I wish you could have the option to just like, no, we're actually arresting you. Sorry, we're actually arresting you. Because all this red lyrium bullshit that we've had to go through, all this stuff, the way it's killed people, that's your fault. So yes, we're actually arresting you. And we're going to lock you away until this is all over. Because we literally can't trust you to not poke your nose where it shouldn't be poking. So when it's over, you can be released. But until then, no, you're with us, that's it. You're in jail. You know. But obviously, the game doesn't let you do that, because why would it? Got to be nice to Varric's friends now. It's Varric, don't you know? He's like the best guy ever.
Let's see what was worth hiding here.
Darkspawn, apparently. Game, why won't you let me attack? Thank you. God's sake. Oh, that's another way out. Sweet. Right. Back to Skyhold.
I'm glad to have answers, but... shit. The second she showed up here, I knew. I let this mess happen. I gave her the tig. I am not good at dealing with shit like this.
Quit being evasive. Tackle it head on.
Sure. You know, it took me 3 years to work up the nerve to confront my brother for trying to kill me. And even then, I couldn't make myself do it without somebody to stand there and hold my hand. If Cassandra hadn't dragged me here, I'd be in Kirkwall right now pretending none of this was happening.
You know that's not true. You've worked as hard as any of us to stop Corypheus.
Is that true? I don't even know anymore. Thank you for your help back there.
After all this, do you think you'll see Bianca again?
I always do. Need something?
Cassandra is waiting for the next issue of Swords and Shields.
I must have heard that wrong. It sounded like you just said that Cassandra read my books.
She's a pretty big fan, in fact.
Are we talking about the same Cassandra? Tall, grumpy seeker, like stabbing things? Wait, did you say the romance serial? Oh, she'll be waiting for a while then. I haven't finished it and wasn't planning to. That book is easily the worst I've ever written. The last issue barely sold enough to pay for the ink.
Well, Cassandra seems to be hooked on it.
And I honestly thought a hole in the sky was the weirdest thing that could happen. So, you want me to finish writing the latest issue of my worst serial for Cassandra? Oh, that's such a terrible idea. I have to do it. On one condition. I get to be there when you give her the book.
You've got a deal.
I'll get to work then. You know, the fact that the book is terrible just makes it more worthwhile somehow.
I told them the offer was the best we could do.
And of course they said no.
They want to choke us. They think we're too remote to do anything about it.
Shame they're wrong.
Yes. Yes, it is.
This guy standing in the way of the ale house.
I can't understand how those women in the kitchen can be awake so early after the night we had.
I'd like to know more about your work with the Ben Hasrath.
Ben Hasrath is actually a general term. You've got the secret police who investigate problems inside our territory. You've got the re-educators who take people with problems and fix their minds. Or make them disappear. And then you've got the spies.
How do the re-educators work?
I only know the basics. Wasn't my area. That said, keep a man awake long enough. Ask the right questions, give the right potions, and you can get him to say anything. You don't need blood magic or demons to change someone's mind. We're a lot more fragile than we'd like to believe.
My parents told me stories about what the re-educators did.
Yes, you were lucky your parents got away. The weak minds get bent into the right shape. Strong minds like yours, they'd have given you a poison called Kamek. You'd have been a polite, happy laborer for the rest of your life. And you'd have had a handler to help you eat and make sure you didn't crap your pants.
None of those sound exactly like you.
Yeah, I was a special case. They sent me to Saharan because they needed someone who could fight and hunt down problems. That whole island was a sack of cats. Incursions from Tevinter, Tal Vashath, and native rebels fighting both sides. And in the middle, me, trying to wrangle the rebels and restore order.
You seem like the type who enjoys a good fight.
There's a good fight, and there's finding out who put rat poison in the bread and killed a bunch of children. I hunted down a lot of rebels. Lost a lot of friends to the Vince, or the Fog Warriors, or the Tal Vashath. One day I woke up and couldn't think of a damned reason to keep doing my job. Turned myself into the re-educators.
Not many people would have the courage to do that.
I thought about letting some rebel kill me, but I couldn't give any of those bastards the satisfaction. The Ben Hassarth ordered me to go to Orlais, ostensibly as a Tal Vashath, and work undercover. That's how I ended up here.
Thanks for the information, Bull.
No problem, boss. Anyway, nice talking with you. Damn, these are good. Are these nuts or seeds or whatever? They're good.
You said we should go get some drinks and meet your company?
Yeah, come on. It'll be fun. Ah, good. We're not drinking alone. How you doing, creme de la creme?
Your worship. I'm so glad he has someone new to hit with that joke.
So, beware. We're at the point where the Canary are about to get neutered. Thanks, BioWare.
Is he always like this?
I'm afraid so. The chief loves his nicknames.
Hey, when I was growing up, my name was just this series of numbers. We all give each other nicknames under the Qun.
They ever wear shirts under the Qun, chief? Or do they just run around binding their breasts like that?
It's a harness, creme.
Yes, for your pillowy man bosoms. Let me know if you need help binding. You could really chisel something out of that overstuffed look.
There we go.
You don't have to pass for a man to be a mercenary.
I'm not passing as anything.
In Kunadar, creme would be an Akunatlak. That's what we call someone born one gender but living like another.
And Kunari don't treat those Akun people any differently than a real man.
They are real men, just like you are.
Maybe your people aren't so bad after all.
Don't get your hopes up, creme. We still come down hard on the back talk. Anyway, here's the rest of the charges, or what's left of the rest. A lot of them went looking for stronger drinks. We've got Rocky and Skinner there, and over there are Stitches, Dalish, and Grim. Crazy bunch of assholes, but they're mine.
So, as I've said before, you know, in Dragon Age Origins, you are made to, if you're a woman and you're fighting, you know, Sten is very confused. He's like, well, you're a woman, why are you fighting? What are you doing? And you say, well, women can fight too. And he says, no, they can't. You're supposed to be a priest or a trader. That's it. You know, that's it. You're under the Qun. And throughout the game, by leadership and example, you win him over. Like, in the end, he's like, wow, okay, maybe some things about the Qun aren't correct. Maybe women can fight. Maybe gender roles can be kind of fluid. You know, maybe that's something that I can take back with me and talk to my people about. You know, and that's cool because you know you've been confronted with a culture that's not like your own. That's kind of, you know, totalitarian and harsh, and you found common ground with that person. That's a beautiful thing that Dragon Age Origins managed to do because it was written by competent writers who did a very good job at writing that game. Dragon Age Inquisition is not written by competent writers, it's written by terrible writers as far as I'm concerned. Dragon Age Inquisition gets by because it's standing on the shoulders of giants. It's almost impossible to write Dragon Age Inquisition badly because you've got Origins there to hold your hand. You've got Dragon Age 2 there. Dragon Age 2 was well written, The gameplay was shit, yeah, and the world was shit, yeah, but it was a well-written game. You know, you've got those two really well-written games behind you to basically hold your hand with this one. All you need to do is paint by numbers with Dragon Age Inquisition, and even then they managed to screw it up a few times, and this is one of them. The way that the Qunari are changed to fit into modern ways of thinking, and saying that LGBTQ rights and things like that. I mean, it's ridiculous. No, I'm sorry. In any setting I write, there are racist people. In any setting I write, there are sexist people. In any setting I write, there may be an entire kingdom of sexist people who would look on a transgender person and try and burn them at the stake. Because it's very important that we look at and confront issues like that to make sure that they do not happen again. The woke sentiment is to put all this stuff and throw it under the bus, sweep it under the rug, and say it never happened. Or to make sure that, historical leaning factions in fantasy and things like that, that they're always towing the party line. Modern sensibilities. Couldn't possibly. Ooh. These are the same people who'd probably judge people like Henry V for slaughtering a load of Frenchmen who were behind his lines when they were in chains. These aren't the people who judge. These are the people who look back at historical figures and they judge them by modern standards when they've never fought a battle before in their lives. Right? These are the same kinds of people who are changing what the Qunari are about. The Qunari were so interesting because they were alien and off-putting and harsh and like, whoa, okay, that's really out there. Okay, that's a really... Wow, let's investigate this idea. What would a culture like that be like? Cool. There are certain parts of the Qun that I like, but in this they basically become just communists, just really, really, really extreme communists, but they're extreme communists who really like the LGBTQ community. I really hope that somebody at BioWare gets a fucking grip and stops throwing modern sensibilities onto fantastical cultures and kingdoms that are supposed to align with real life history. Okay? Doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. Right? And if you don't think Qunari are quite communist in this, listen to what Iron Bull says. The re-educators, right? There's serial numbers in place of your name. Everyone's pulling in the same direction for the state, and there's no individuality. There's no one can choose their role. No one can, right? That's communism. I'm sorry, that's what it is. Okay, living for the community, living for everyone else. It belongs to the poor, right? No one's poor in the Qun, but no one's happy either, because you wouldn't know if you were happy or not. You're living in a dream when you're part of the Qun, right? Same as communism. Same as radical communism, anyway. And it didn't need to be that way. The Qun was interesting enough when STEM was talking about it. We didn't need all of this. We didn't need all this baggage, this modern baggage. And we didn't need all of the Qunari becoming, gay allies. Like... Do we need to say that? Show, don't tell, right? Show me that the Qunari don't give a shit about sexual preferences and gender preferences. Don't tell me that they don't give a shit about them, right? Show me. Don't tell me. But what BioWare are very often doing, what bad writers are very often love doing, is telling you, right? That's not always a bad thing, right? Sometimes it's good to just get the exposition out the way. But I'm telling you now, 90% of the time, in my own opinion, it's a terrible practice, and it just shows a lack of creativity, effort, and talent on behalf of the writer, and that's what we're seeing here. So that's my only rant on the Qunari. Let's carry on.
Were you born on the surface, or are you from Orzammar?
Orzammar. I got exiled. Stupid noble crap. Also, I accidentally blew up a bit of the shape rate.
Rocky's one of our best sappers. He can take down enemy fortifications faster than a golem.
I'm also working on my own version of Qunari black powder. I've almost got it.
Yeah, You really don't.
Why aren't you with your clan?
Our keeper thought I should see the world a little.
Dalish don't have Templars, so they can't have too many mages in a clan at once.
Now, sir, you know I'm not a mage. That'd make me an apostate.
You carry a staff, Dalish.
It's a bow.
A bow with a giant glowing crystal at the tip.
Yes, it's for aiming. Old elven trick you wouldn't understand.
I think he likes. I think Karnos likes her more than anyone else. 'Cause he's kind of the same. It's a staff. It's a sword, though, isn't it? No. Okay.
I take it you're the company healer.
Yes, first time I ever picked up a sword was when the Blight hit Ferelden. Never put it back down.
He makes a potion that'll put you right back on your feet after even the toughest fight. It tastes terrible, though.
That's because it's a poultice, sir. You're not supposed to drink it.
So how'd you join the Chargers?
Killed some people.
Skinner didn't take kindly to nobles testing their new swords on the elves in her alienage.
Bull took me in. Now I get paid to kill shams.
This is actually really good behavior for her. She's not marking her territory or anything.
Grim, is it?
Grim doesn't talk much. I'm pretty sure he's the lost king of some small country, or chieftain. Something like that.
They can fight?
We can fight, can't we, boys?
Man can beat the Chargers, cause we'll hit you where it hurts. Unless you know what's happened with the cards and looser skirts. For everybody battlefield will gladly raise a cup. No matter what tomorrow holds, the horns be pointing up.
Thanks for coming by, boss. Glad you could meet some of my team.
The lip syncing, that was weirdly very good.
Yes, sir.
Leave Cam to it. Let's go speak to Sarah.
You happier with the champion off with the wardens?
I hear Vashel was good pay for you, Inquisitor. Time to go see if my friends came through too. Got a location for a stash. Hopefully something nice for my trouble. Well, your trouble. Just let me know when you're ready to head out. Be sure to bring your empty pockets.
Who's putting up the reward for this?
Don't know. Sometimes it's pass the hat. Sometimes it's I lifted this from Master's vault. Doesn't matter, does it? Job done. Time to get what we're owed.
I'm ready if you are.
Always, yeah. My favorite part, this. Let's go see what friends can get us.
I'm taking Vivian. It's gonna be hilarious.
Wait, this is weird.
What?
I was expecting a village or something. The people that leave me stuff don't trek out to places like this. Give me a city and I'll give you a tour, but surprise, surprise, I don't know stupid woods or ruins. What's that?
Don't hurt me. Harmond made me do it.
What's her name and why are you here?
He made me come. Said I had to lead him to her because I said things. It was just bar talk.
This was supposed to be a simple drop. What's going on?
You're her. You're the one he's waiting for. It's her. She's here. Red Jenny.
Someone dead.
Hold on. I was not where the Inquisitor was personally involved. This is a tragic misunderstanding. Let's all clean our swords. You walk out, and we'll conduct this like business.
Don't believe this piss bag. He started it.
Did I just kill him? Can't see him anywhere. There he is.
There. That wasn't so hard, was it? We identified the confusion, and we worked past it. I'm Lord Pelharmond. I do hope, Inquisitor, that you continue to respond to reason. After all, your choice of company is hardly virtuous.
Freaking user, you are. Another noble prick who punches down.
We're the same, you and I. Well, that is overstating it. You are nothing like me, but we both need people.
Well, say your piece.
Of course. No more rash mistakes. Honestly, previous to this very moment, I thought you'd also been tricked by these red jennies. Despite your foreign nature, as Inquisitor, you are a social peer. I attacked them on behalf of us both.
Arse biscuit.
Quite. Inquisitor, Herald, I don't want to be your enemy. I'm barely invested in being hers. If you are willing to recognize an opportunity, we could be exceptional partners. Now what was the point of that?
Mother puss bucket, friggin' bastard, shite-bag piss-face. Eat it, you lop-eared son of an arsenut,
Sarah!
piece of...
Sarah!
What?
I think you're done. At this point, you're making wine.
Ugh, that makes it worse. Friends, Inquisitor. Better than his lot any day. Hey, you. Know what? Thanks. Felt good to stomp the smile off that pisshead's face. It doesn't go bad like that often, yeah? But when it does, they deserve it.
Risky, but keep it within the Inquisition and I'll support you.
Even though there's puckered around us?
Even so.
Well, good then. Right, what do you mean? Because I am really not used to that acceptance thing you're doing right there.
We'll have some differences, but I want to be one of your friends.
You're pretty big to be one of my contacts. Important, I mean, not fat. But all right, Inquisitor. You're on my good side. We'll see if it lasts.
Good.
From Havenspire come we the able food.
To Skyhold now, a fortress strong and free. We rally with our hero born anew.
Inquisitor,
Right.
there's none
That's
as
why.
brave as he.
I think that one is just
No,
me
they don't.
showing off.
What are you doing?
Listening. Eyes rough, jangling armor hurts my ears, back aching, fingers too clumsy for knots. Wind cool like Aunt Eloise's pond, lips scalded as I sip, warmth blossoms, first kiss in the barn, what was his name? Tin jangle as the blood spills, Pierre's wrapped body on the wagon to the chantry, 5 more minutes, my fault.
Can you listen to anyone's mind like you did hers?
No, they have to need me. Pain, fear, sadness, guilt, anger, hurt. Things I can fix.
Can you do something for her?
Yes. It's okay. Nothing you did mattered.
What? Who are you?
They lie there, and sometimes they die, just like Pierre. You can't save them.
I don't know who you are.
Wait. That didn't work. Let me try again. You'll forget me in a minute. You can't save all of them.
What?
Like Pierre getting sick after you snuck out to Aunt Eloise's pond. You want it to be your fault, so there's a reason and it's not so frightening. But there is no reason. Pierre just got sick. The soldier was never going to live. It wasn't your fault. Better.
She doesn't blame herself anymore?
Not as much. It was bouncing around inside her, closing up into a ball of wrong. Now it's open. She'll get it out.
Well done.
Thank you for letting me help her. It's not how a person would do it. But it helped. That's what matters.
I really like Cole.
And how much did you need?
I don't get people who don't like characters like that. Even Sarah. There's like... People didn't like Sarah, but... You feel something about her, though. She's not nothing. Like Sebastian, for instance.
Heard you found something that had to do with wardens. Would have liked to have seen it. I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
The Inquisition must do many things to gain support.
Of course, you would have considered every angle, every advantage. I've never been more certain of my decision to join you.
Liliana makes sure my sordid secrets never come to light.
Well then, I won't pry. I prefer to go on believing only good things about you.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I just know that you could shake this world to its foundations if you willed it.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
You're eyeing the Lady Seeker, aren't you? I can see why. She's definitely striking. A little stern, though.
You're experienced, I assume. Got any tips?
If I say the wrong thing, she'll probably have my head. Cassandra is a warrior. That's all she's ever known. But that's not all there is to life. Show her that.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
I keep getting a sense that there's a button there. It better not be Blackwall.
All's well.
Are your wife and daughter doing well?
Elena's minding the farms. Sienna's still running her full races. Wouldn't be fair to drag them up here. I miss them. But someone has to save the world.
How are your charges? Well supplied?
Oversupplied. Never thought a mountain pass could seem like luxury.
Farewell.
Make her be with you.
Let's sell some stuff, shall we? Is it just me, but like that Bonnie Sims person, as soon as I see someone wearing an Orlesian hat, I just move on. Just walk away.
Inquisitor.
Where did demons come from?
Mages. The Fade. But where did they come from? The Maker's first children, I think.
Should probably go and
he let them become
give
old
Cassandra the
gods?
stuff, shouldn't I?
I don't know. The firstborn are questioned.
What have you done now?
I get it, Seeker. You're still sore after our spat.
I'm not a child, Varric. Do not suggest I'm without reason.
A peace offering. The next chapter of Swords and Shields. I hear you're a fan.
This is your doing.
Oh, yes. Do you really think I'd miss this?
Well, if you're not interested, you're not interested. Still needs editing anyhow.
Wait!
You're probably wondering what happens to the Knight Captain after the last chapter.
Nothing should happen to her. She was falsely accused.
Well, it turns out the guardsmen...
Don't tell me!
This is the part where you thank the Inquisitor. I don't normally give sneak peeks, after all.
Thank you.
This was everything I'd hoped.
I know how you feel.
I wonder if I have time to read the first part.
Don't forget to tell all your friends, if you have any. Completely worth it.
Inquisitor.
The new power you wield. I heard from Cassandra that it is the magic of the Knight Enchanters. If I am not mistaken, the techniques descend from those of ancient elven mages.
Oh, of course they are.
Arcane warriors.
Yeah.
I wonder what they would think to see their magic used in defense of the Chantry.
Who cares?
The ancient elves aren't here. We are. If their techniques help the Inquisition, I don't care what they think.
Of course. The current war must take precedence over the concerns of those long gone. Did you need anything else?
I need to know more about Corypheus.
We spoke of this on our travels to Skyhold. With our adversary.
You're a mage. You studied the Breach. And you seem to have some idea how a bastard like this might think.
I'm flattered. I claim no secret wisdom, but I will guess as best I can.
I would like to know more about the orb he carries.
As I said, that must be the means by which he created the Breach. I suspect the blast that destroyed the Conclave was more accident than anything. The result of unlocking power that had sought release for ages. What I cannot understand is how he managed to survive such an explosion.
You said that you believe the orb is elven.
I never would have believed a Devinter mage could unlock such a powerful relic. It clearly enhances his abilities. Giving him access to power I should never have known.
Like the power to control the Archdemon.
Indirectly, one assumes. Nothing in any law connects my people to the old god dragons who became archdemons.
What do you think Corypheus will do next?
We've taken his army. He lacks the conventional forces to take Orlais. He must see Orlais destroyed utterly by whatever means possible. Not merely thrown into chaos.
You're sure that's what he'll do?
As certain as is possible. Assuming I can plausibly predict a man who seeks to rise to godhood.
And can you?
The key is understanding this. No real god need prove himself. Anyone who tries is mad or lying. His deception will undo him, as it has done countless fools before.
What can you tell me about the source of Corypheus' power?
According to the law, the ancient Magistars of Tevinter received guidance from the old gods. Corypheus commands a false archdemon, a corrupted old god. This suggests he no longer sees himself as their minion. Some of his unique power comes from the corruption of the Blight. The rest may come from the orb he carries.
I'd like to know more about you, Solus.
Why?
You're an elven mage. Not from the Circle, not Dalish. You're an unknown element. If I'm to trust a self-taught apostate with my life, I need to know more about him.
I don't see myself as self-taught. But then, since I have not told you, you'd have no way of knowing that. All right. What can I tell you?
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If Corypheus destroyed the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
Well, it's not the worst reason I've heard to go out and enjoy life.
I'm glad to hear it. In truth, I have enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train your will to control magic and withstand possession. Your indomitable focus is an enjoyable side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
All right. Wrong way.
Roderick, that Chantry fellow who led us through the mountain from Haven. You know he died, I assume. Got us as far as the camp, and then that was it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I helped him walk. He talked about you quite a bit. He just needed to be sure you were Andraste's chosen. He was terrified of what it meant, if it were true. But in the end, he believed. He asked me to tell you he was sorry.
So he believed, even if I don't.
You inspire faith, Inquisitor. Even if you don't mean to. Anyway, we can talk about something else if you'd rather.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
Let's move on, shall we?
I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I decline the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
I'm getting the impression you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier. We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
I should go.
As you wish.
Inquisitor. I have been thinking. You remember everything now, yes? The explosion at Haven, the Fade, escaping the breach. In your report, you said Justinia was with you. But only you emerged in the end. Why? Why were you the only survivor?
Demons tore her from me. I couldn't stop them.
So you had no time to think, only to act. Her message to me. I failed you too. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Did you say anything else? Anything at all? Please, if you remember.
It does you no good to dwell on her. She's gone.
It's not for you to decide what is and isn't good for me. There are no answers in the Fate. Only illusions. A warped mirror. Justinia has never failed me. I was her left hand. Now she's dead. I failed her.
Well, by game standards, she died ages ago. Like, what? Never mind. It's kind of the Alistair thing. I think BioWare sometimes have a great problem with getting their characters to move on from certain things, to grow.
Gloat all you like. I have this one.
Are you sassing me, Commander? I didn't know you had it in you.
Why do I even... Inquisitor.
Leaving, are you? Does this mean I win?
Are you two playing nice?
I'm always nice. You need to come to terms with my inevitable victory. You'll feel much better.
Really? Because I just won. And I feel fine.
Don't get smug. There will be no living with you.
I should return to my duties as well. Unless you would care for a game.
Prepare the board, Commander.
As a child, I played this with my sister. She would get this stuck-up grin whenever she won, which was all the time. My brother and I practiced together for weeks.
Oh, the look on her face the day I finally won. Between serving the Templars and the Inquisition, I haven't seen them in years. I wonder if she still plays.
You have siblings?
2 sisters and a brother.
Where are they now?
They moved to South Reach after the Blight. I do not write to them as often as I should. Ah, it's my turn.
You should keep in practice for when you see your sister again.
This may be the longest we've gone without discussing the Inquisition, or related matters. To be honest, I appreciate the distraction.
We've been through enough to drop the formalities and simply talk.
I suppose we have. And this one's mine.
It seems luck favored you today.
I think he knows we let him win. Being a leader, I think, sometimes is about recognizing when someone needs a win. You know? It's exactly the same thing that Shepard did with Garrus when he's having a shooting competition. Like, I always miss on purpose, because, you know, you're in the hell together, you're doing quite well, and your friend needs a win, needs a little pick-me-up, so there you go, you know. Plus, there's nothing wrong with letting go of a little ego. Anyway, next time we'll be making some new armor, and we'll be going to a brand new location. So see you then.